Morning, guys. All right, so we're going to do this again here. Picking up a load of horse manure. Still working on my gardens, so go figure. But I want to talk about a little bit about how we're still being lied to. And again, this goes all into the shipping container crap. And, you know, there's been a lot of stories out there. Somebody made a comment the other day, I think I told you all about the Department of Transportation halting these shipping containers from getting unloaded. And so then a few of you who have contacted me, one who was down in Long Beach over the weekend, had sent me an email saying that they drove by the docks and there was nothing at all being moved. Zero. I mean, so much for the 24/7, so much for the one crane that was working. There were no cranes working. Well, if there's nothing working 24/7, and don't give me it was the weekend, because 24/7 means 7 days. All right. So now the next thing I got overnight was one of y'all who lives up in the Bay Area, in Oakland, the Oakland area, sent me a copy to a newspaper article, which, take a look at this right here, but I'm also going to link it to you, for you. All right, so now if you take a look at that article, and obviously go down and read it, but the article specifically says that the Port of Oakland is empty. And why aren't, you know, they're begging for the ships up there. They're going, we've got the longshoremen and everything like that to unload the ships. Now, let's think about geography, guys. We had Ron DeSantis in Florida the other day say, gee, we have a whole bunch of ports that are open in Florida, bring the ships over here. Well, of course, now you're talking about going all the way around Mexico, down through the Panama Canal, up back through the Gulf of Mexico, and into Florida. Hell of a long trip, take a few weeks, plus the, you know, $1 million or whatever it costs to run a ship through the Panama Canal. Think about this, guys. You can drive from LA to San Francisco in about 5 hours. All right, so what's it going to take one of these ships to get up there? A day, maybe 2, and they can unload all those ships there. Don't give me the same story about, gee, there's no truckers. Again, 5 hours to drive. Fine. Take a truck that's sitting there waiting, supposedly, in Los Angeles or Long Beach, and tell them, go pick up your load in Oakland. Okay, so they've got to run an empty load for 5 hours for a few hundred miles to get up the coast. Okay, it's better than these container ships sitting around empty. Why is this not being done? You know, the conspiracy theories that everybody throws out there about what's going on. All of a sudden, every single one of them seems to be having some validity to it. It makes no sense. Why are we sending all these ships? Were there 100 and something ships sitting out there? 44 billion dollars worth of material that is sitting on cargo ships out in the Pacific, outside of Los Angeles, waiting to go somewhere, and they've been out there for how long? 2 months? Okay, a day or 2. This is what it takes to get to Oakland. Now, we all talk about in the prepper community, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? The same thing works in the supply chain arena, okay? 2 ports, 1 port. There's more than one place to take all this stuff. Why is it not going up to Oakland? Who is messing with this and why? It's just more and more and more stuff that makes it crazy obvious that the stories that we're hearing in the news and the excuses we're hearing out of the White House about what the problems are a complete crock of shit. And get into everything between, gee, we have food shortages. Gee, the grocery stores don't have stuff on the shelves. Gee, we've got to raise the prices on everything. Gee, we need to raise your taxes. Okay, what I talked about in this morning's video. Let's go into a little bit further on that. Let's bankrupt the American citizen. Let's make them totally bend to our will. We're not, and I've said this many times, and a few of you have said it too. I talked 6 months ago about watch for apartment complexes going up, and a lot of you have continued to tell me that around the cities, there's a lot of apartment building going on. Now you're getting the food problems, and where have we all determined that the food shortages come up to be? Well, they happen to be more in the rural areas. That's where the stores are a little bit more empty. What are they trying to do? They are trying to starve us out. They are trying to tax us out. They are trying to figure out how to take our land, how to take our houses, and move us into the sardine cans that they want to make the cities turn into be. Again, this all goes back to this Green New Deal crap about sustaining the planet or whatever it is. The planet sustains itself pretty well. It's the politicians who screw it up, okay, with all the stuff that they stop us from doing. Now, hang on, I'm going down a hill with the load. So, this is what we need to pay attention to, guys. This is why you need to be talking to other people, talking to your cops, your mayor, your state representative, your federal representative, your state senator, your federal senator, and let them know what's going on. The interesting part is there's protests going on all over the world, okay? I mean, pick a country. I mean, Australia, Israel, Germany, I don't know. The only protests, I mean, France, we've seen all that one, okay, England, I'd go on and on. The only protest I've seen in the United States has been in New York. Ironically in New York. But where you have people saying, this has gotten to be too much. You're pushing too much. And nothing else happens. I mean, I haven't seen any protests in Knoxville. I mean, not that I go anywhere else. Not that I even go into Knoxville. But when the people's voice is not being heard, we're laying down and just taking it. And this is why I think it's so important to still, I mean, it doesn't even have to be prepping, to spread the word to your neighbors, your family, your friends about the tax issue that I talked about this morning, about the shipping issue I just talked about now, okay? Educate them on what's going on. It doesn't have to be educating them on storing food or getting ready. Maybe with a little luck they'll put one and one together and figure out what they need to do. But this is something that we all need to pay attention to, because right in front of our nose they are trying to take everything away from us. Our food, our jobs, our houses, our livelihood, and everybody's just doing nothing and bitching about it. So, the biggest thing we can do, you can talk to your politicians till you're blue in the face. Most of them don't even reply, okay? But the biggest thing we can do is start explaining to our neighbors, the parents of the other kids in our kids' classes, our church, our bingo club. I don't care where it is. The guys at the bar, wherever you go and you got two people. Think of the definition of church, guys. Okay, the definition of church is where two people come to talk about God. God wants us to talk about this. So you're going to go talk to somebody, strike up a conversation, and understand God is going to be right there on your shoulder telling you, Mary, Bob, Tim, whatever your name is, okay, you're doing the right thing. You're educating people. That's what this is all about. Please, please, please spread the word to people about how this crap is being stuffed down our throat, and we are being lied to by politicians, by the media, by the newspapers, by anything, and enlighten them on what's really happening. And hopefully they'll think a little bit and go, you know what? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, guys, I'm in a bunch of curves on the road, so I got to pay attention. Have a good one. Pinball out.